Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I go as far as saying last year if the opportunity came, I'd be ready for it. I think, age is something that I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm not ready because I'm only 18. I'm only a freshman. I feel like if the opportunity is presented, I'm going to take the most of that opportunity.
And there's, you look at last year, two guys rotated most of the carries. Do you anticipate with those two gone, it's going to all, three, maybe even four of you are going to see action in a game?
I say, we're gonna put in. I say we're gonna feed the hot hand, but I think it's definitely gonna be a better chance to see, all of us, all four of us, if possible, showcase something different. We all bring something to the table, and I think that's something that even an opposing defense can't really prepare for. You can get a different look from 3-4 different running backs, and that's hard to say. Well, he gets put in, we got to make sure we worry about this, but we can't give up this aspect of the offense. So I think that's something that people have to be looking forward to, and people have to be ready to see.
You mentioned to me the other day you dropped a little bit of weight, but you still see yourself as the power back.
Oh yeah, for sure. Not a lot of people know. On my player card, if that's what you want to call it, it said 215. Last year I played at 225. Right now I'm actually back at 215. So I feel good. I feel faster. I still got stronger. All my numbers still went up. My body fat percentage went down. So all good things.
So with you being a bigger back, obviously, in this type of offense, over the course of the summer and now fall, have you had to change anything about your game at all, or are you just doing what you've been doing?
I'd say the one aspect that people sleep on is probably me catching out the backfield. I think people see me as like the biggest back that we have, and they're like, yeah, he's the power back, and I'll claim that title, gladly, but I can do everything and more. Like I'm never gonna tell someone, oh, I'm just a downhill running back. So I think with this offense, I'll be able to showcase more of what I'm able to do, whether if that's pass blocking, running the ball inside or outside the tackles, or even if that's running routes downfield.
And have you expressed any interest in trying to be that kind of back, being the one who's up there catching and moving around and all that?
I mean, yeah, of course. I think, like one thing that Coach Perkins has always talked about is who's going to be that guy, that guy that's playing first through third down. We can't afford to, be switching personnel, if third down comes in, we can't have one guy that, they're not like, oh, okay, they're going to pass it, or situations like that. So I think that's one thing that, even all of us are trying to achieve, just showcase that we can all do it, that we can be the first through third down back.
When it comes to your comfortability in this offensive scheme, how have you felt yourself grow with it from the spring until now? And what do you feel like you're going to be able to showcase within this scheme that you may have not had the opportunity to do last year?
I'd say probably just learning the different run schemes. Honestly, I feel like these run schemes are just a little bit more open. I mean, I'd probably say go as far as even saying my favorite is like one back power. That's something that I haven't did since high school. But I just say that I feel like also catching and routes out of the backfield. I think this offense gives us a lot more, uses a lot more creativity when it comes to using a running back, whether if that's putting us in space against a Mike linebacker, or if that's having us run wheel routes, run seam routes, run option routes if that's what's asked and stuff like that.
At the end of last season, you got on the field, you got some reps against Tulsa, had 8 carries against them. How important was it to get some reps on the field at the end of last season, going into this season, to have that experience?
You talk about 8 carries in a game at the end of the game. I mean, they're all great carries. Any carry is a great carry in my opinion. But I'll probably just say, even to go as far as like what Coach Perkins told me before I got in, I think that's probably the one thing that's probably actually going to stick with me probably throughout the rest of my college career is it's just football. It's like at the end of the day, just run. I did everything to this point to get here where I am now. Don't overcomplicate it. I know what I'm doing. Don't sit there and try and think and break down each individual play. Look at whatever your read key is and go.
So when it comes to this running back room as a whole, what does Coach Perkins help instill in you guys in terms of mentality? And then shifting to you, what are you hoping to showcase, build upon, or even just work on from now until the start of the regular season?
I said the one thing, as a running back, obviously ball security is a must. But the mentality is just, dominate, attack every rep, dominate every rep, show that, you're a threat. That's really what it comes down to. A lot of people I feel like might be sleeping on our room. They're saying you're unexperienced, you're a little young, but we have to showcase and we have to show everyone that we're a threat to this offense, that you can't count the running back room out. You're not going to sit there and drop 8 the whole game and think we're not going to run it, right at you. And people get caught up in this whole air raid offense, but we're going to run the ball. You guys look at, what Coach Kelly did at Texas Tech. Taj Brooks had 2 1,500-yard seasons back-to-back. And, you can't really say, it's just an air raid offense. That shows productivity, you feel me? So it's like, that's something. But I'd say the one thing I'd say I'm working on going into the season, honestly, is probably just showcasing that I could run. Honestly, I feel like I said, that comes with this whole power back kind of stigma, is that, he's really downhill. But I want to show people that I have more to show just in, running downhill, trying to run somebody over, that I have more than me as a player.
Kaden, what has it been like getting reps against this FAU D line? How have you made them better and they have made you better?
I'd probably say the one thing is just trusting my read, honestly. They play this different lag technique where they're trying to see where we're going first. And honestly, it's just kind of staying true to what we call like our path, So we look at our read key and, we're going to stay on our path, because at the end of the day, as long as we look at our read, as soon as the ball snaps, it'll tell us right where we need to go.
Yes, man, definitely. I just try to trust my O-line, really, and just, Coach Perk does a great job teaching us our reads, so I trust him, and then we trust my O-line, and then, from that, it's just all vision from there. So.
Yeah. We talk about the core of you guys coming back and how important it is to have your core group returning, knowing the system, meaning Coach Perkins' system, and knowing the language that he's going to speak. But how important is it for you guys that he's been here through the coaching changes?
I feel like it's definitely important because, we had that bond with him, being with him for so long, especially me, Gemari, and Josh, because we came in 2023. And then, we have a connection, all together as a whole. Ethan Irvin, he fits in with the group well. He's just like us. And, I just think it's great because we know his expectations and we can follow up that.
Your playing time has gotten a little more each year you've been here, but now, especially losing 2 guys that were the top guys last year in the running back room, are you ready for a bigger workload, and will you embrace that if that's the case?
Yes, sir, definitely. I'll be willing to do whatever the team calls me to do and help us win games.
Do you feel like you're maybe the most explosive guy back there? Obviously you have the record with the 93-yarder against Tulsa, but is that something you feel you're really capable of on a game-by-game basis?
I think we're explosive as a whole. We all bring different attributes to the table, and we can showcase that. So I think we're explosive as a whole, everybody.
When it comes to this offensive scheme, everyone talks about the passing game and what it does, but also it opens up a lot of things for the run game. How do you feel that you and the rest of the running back room have grown in this scheme from the spring until now? And what do you feel you're able to do now that you weren't able to do at the beginning of the spring?
Well, definitely, with some more passing plays being involved, you got to learn how to pass block. And coming into the spring, I was kind of working on that, and this summer I was working on it a lot. In fall camp, I think I definitely got better towards the end of the spring, but this fall camp, I think I'm picking up on it pretty well.
You're not just when I looked at you in the spring, and you're not just a perimeter guy. You run the ball pretty effectively between the tackles, even though you're not the biggest guy. Do you sort of enjoy that kind of tucking in behind your offensive lineman, and then once you find that hole, you're gone?
Well, back to what you were saying about Coach Perk, being with Coach Perk, he teaching us toughness. So I feel like, if you're around that for so long, you just kind of stick with it and you just live with it. So, he teaches us toughness, and then that's what I've been doing, just trying to be tough.
Coach Show, special teams coordinator, mentioned that he's really looking to get you involved on the special teams. You got involved in special teams last year against UTSA and Temple. How do you feel about that role in special teams? Are you ready to start returning kicks?
Yes, definitely. Like I said, willing to do whatever the team needs me to do, and I definitely think I can be a good part of the kick return team.
And last season, so a big thing now is going to be the passing game. And a big part of last season was there's a lot of backfield catches, a lot of receptions from the running backs. Do you expect yourself to have a major role in the passing game as the previous two running backs that were the stars last season?
Yes, definitely, because, I feel like with my size, I have to be a back that can do everything, catch a ball at the backfield and do the most, and then just take advantage of my opportunities.
And with Perkins, you mentioned like a three-headed monster with the running backs, and you're part of that. How do you feel just with the idea of being alongside two others, competing at camp, but also knowing that when it comes game day that you three are going to work together and just try to get the win?
I like it a lot because, when we're competing against each other, we're just only making each other better, And if one of us makes a good play, we celebrate him. If I make a good play, they celebrate me. So it's just it's a fun competition.
When you carry the ball, right? Whether it's as a receiver or in the run game on different concepts, what's your mentality, and how has that mentality grown from when you first arrived here to now?
I think my mentality has been the same since I've been playing football. Just got to score, got to put points on the board. So willing to do anything to get the ball in the end zone.
Xavier, obviously coming to FAU in this program, how have you seen it grow from your freshman year to now?
I think there's been a lot of growth. We obviously had some coaching changes throughout my freshman year, sophomore year, and now my junior year. But I think it's going to be a good season coming up.
Coach Pert, he means a lot to us with, just being there for us. And, Coach Pert actually had the opportunity to go in the portal and get other guys, but he didn't. And, we kind of, seeing that. And as the players that's in his room, we knew that, okay, he believed in us, so we got to put our neck on the line for him because that's what he's doing for us.
We've seen the core group of you guys over last year play. What is something new that you think that we'll see in the upcoming year among that group?
Something new, definitely more explosive plays. Since we running the area offense, you can't fall into the area. They pass the ball, but them passing the ball is only going to help us. They're going to lighten up the box, and we're going to see a lot of explosive runs.
Gemari, you've paid your dues the last 2 years. Practiced hard, played behind some good players. Do you feel you're really looking forward to busting out this year and really showing people what you can do?
Yes, actually yes, all of us, but we all can play, by the way. So,
what do you feel? Do you feel like you're an all-around back, that you're a first through fourth down back that can do anything that's asked of you?
Yes, if you want to be elite, you got to do those things. Run the ball, you got to be able to pass, block, run, block, and also catch the ball. So yes, I definitely think me doing all those things, that I'm a four down back.
You got a lot of reps. I'm sorry, you got a lot of reps during spring ball as with the number one unit. And I thought you did extremely well. What did the spring do for your mindset coming into this fall?
It gave me a lot of confidence, just getting used to those play calls and seeing those different defenses and blitz, just got me comfortable with just being in the game.
You showed a little bit of everything over the spring and even dating back to last season, but heading into fall camp and towards the regular season, how are you refining your game and really building upon every aspect of it to really be ready to roll for the 2025 season?
I'm taking those things that I did well in the spring and I'm working on it, and then the things I did bad, I'm working on that every day, just the little things, the details, my pad level and the way I run through the gaps and reading my read keys, just taking everything slow. The game is not too far away from today, so it's happening fast. Everything's happening fast, so I have to get on my horse.
And then when it comes to this offensive scheme, how do you feel that the scheme's allowing you to really showcase all your abilities and really take advantage of what you are as a player?
We run an air raid, and we're spreading everything out. So my guys on the perimeter, my receivers, tight ends, those guys making plays going to help me because the defense is going to lighten up the ball. They're going to have to respect the air raid and the players and our playmakers on the perimeter. So once they make their plays, it's just going to come from me and the backs.
And during practice, just whenever we were out there, I noticed that you were one-on-one with one of your teammates. Has that been something that you've been doing since you've been here, or is that something you've started picking up on now that you're in a top role in the running back room?
Yes, just taking the things that the older guys did for me when I was a young cat, and just giving nourishing and giving it to the young guys now that I'm the oldest guy in the room. So I'm just giving back,
You saw a lot of action last year on special teams, and Coach Shove mentioned that you were one of the guys who he's looking for to return kicks or punts. How do you feel about that role?
I feel good, just knowing that Coach believed in me and my like what I could do with the ball made me feel good and just give me a lot more confidence.
How did seeing some action in games last year boost your confidence and develop you into the player you are today? I haven't got many reps since I came out of high school, and this is my third year. I'm going into my third year since I've been out of high school, and last season helped me catch the speed of the game and just see those big guys, the D line and the linebackers how they move and how they flow. So it's just helped me with my confidence.
You came from one of the most dominant high schools in all of South Florida, St. Thomas Aquinas. You came with Xavier, Jordan, Harriet. How was that connection when you came to college with all three of those guys that you've known when in your high school days? How's that connection and that bond you built with them helped you develop and had a better friendship with them?
Yeah, so us coming from St. Thomas together, we were friends there. We came out the same room. We always we never competed against each other. In a way, we always pushed each other to be better. Okay, you gotta work on this, right? I see this, you doing this instead of this. So we always just try to pick each other up, help each other, give each other points.